Con and Pat hired Focus and hired Brian to market the business. So we went through that process. I had reached out to both Con and Pat some time ago, expressing our interest in buying the business. You could argue that hiring a banker and going through a process may be overly disruptive to a business, or it may turn off a potential buyer. I think in this case, we actually welcomed it because, again, in terms of sophistication, we're a pretty sophisticated buyer. I mean, we've been owned by a private equity firm for a number of years. Pat and Connor, they're entrepreneurs. I mean, this is the first time they went through the process. So as it turned out, it was hugely beneficial to have Focus and Brian and their team navigating through the process, because I think in the context of the global nature of Focus, I think, it's a circumstance that Brian had, a complete understanding of how transactions happen, both locally and globally, and that's always beneficial as you go through a process. Particularly, U.S. buyers have there's certain nuances as to how we approach acquisitions versus maybe in the UK. So just trying to navigate those differences, that experience of being global and doing transactions in all regions of the world, it's important.